Hello and welcome everyone to Youth Mentors and VCs. Today we're in a new segment with someone from a very, very rare industry, Not so many people usually expect on our show to have chefs. And the other time we had an engineer, and it was really fascinating. And I'm really excited to have you here. My name is Shak Lubia, founder of Youth Mentors and VCs. And our aim is just to see how we can bridge the gap between entrepreneurs and mentors and people like you are established in the industry, whichever industry that they're in. So we believe today you'll have a nugget, that you may say it here and it will spark someone to do something great. So I hope you're ready and looking forward to a great conversation. So for starters, I'd like you to introduce yourself, then you can proceed to the question.
So hi everyone, my name is Chef Arva, and I'm the first Kenyan author to actually launch a children's cookbook for little kids aged 6 to 15 years in Kenya. So this book is actually a basic children's cookbook that covers eggless, healthy and vegetarian recipes. And yeah, I mean, I have two daughters. I'm a mother. I have two daughters, and they were age 6 and 8 when we made the cookbook, and that they have inspired me to do this cookbook. And I'm sure we'll have more to talk about once we go for.
Yeah, actually, I'm curious about the name Arva. Is Arva from Kenya?
So I'm actually a Bohara Muslim. I belong to the Muslim religion, but I'm born and bred Kenyan. My mom says Arva means angel, so I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, it's a very Arabic name. You find a lot of women in Dubai are also called Arwa. I'm pretty much interested because whenever I go to Dubai, there's a water bottle that is named under my name, so I get very excited. So yeah, uh,
That is very, very exciting as well. I mean, if your name can be used for something huge in countries, something to be proud of.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I also forgot to mention I'm actually a specialized chef in eggless pastries and desserts. And I run my own home baking business called Bake Me Some Buns from my little kitchen in Westlands. It was started in 2016. And yeah, we have a beautiful niche of a market, and we do everything from eggless to gluten-free to dairy-free. I bring smiles to children on their birthday parties. So I do lots of goodies like donuts and marshmallows and chocolates and yeah.
Mm. So when you say eggless, um, I've had so many people mention they find challenges when it comes to consuming eggs. Is it a real huge menace as people portray?
Yeah, so look, for someone like me who didn't have any egg deficiencies, or I mean, I love my eggs. I have my eggs almost every other morning. But as a baker, I realized that sometimes cooking without eggs is just so much easier. It's got more shelf life. You know, it's a more edible version of eating. Not that eggs don't, but I just feel it's a much easier way of getting things around when eggs are not involved. Uh, there's a Kenyan saying, "Yo, mayai imeharibika," you know. So whenever I used to make cake, and they never used to, the cake would never rise. The first thing my maid would tell me is, "Yo, mayai labda imeharibika," you know, and that's where all the problems started. So it's something you never had control over. And as bakers, I feel you should have control over all your ingredients. Secondly, yes, I mean, I ventured into eggless baking because when I experimented and when I actually made the product, I realized that it's equally delicious, you know. And when I started baking, it was in the era of eggless. It's a lot of kids had a lot of allergies. My own children had egg allergies, and to be able to create something delicious and edible, which is eggless, was a gift, and it's phenomenal to have that talent. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's now dive into the question. And my first question is the inspiration behind baking. I mean, the inspiration for me even to go to the kitchen is a whole menace. Now I'm wondering for you, what was the inspiration to
Yeah.
begin this journey?
So I always smile when I'm asked this question because
Mm.
10 years ago, I was zero in cooking. I could not even imagine myself being a baker. I was working in a company, I was having an 8 to 5 job. My focus was totally different. But yes, being pregnant with my two daughters, and once I delivered them, is when I discovered that they were born with food allergy. And in the era at that time, which is almost 10 to 8 years ago, I feel Kenya was still not prepared with babies who were born with allergies. Like things were not available. You had to order things from UK. It was very hard to find things here in when I'm talking about 8 years ago. So this is what inspired me. And I said, you know what, let me just learn. Let me just might as well see how it's done. And again, whatever was available in the market was not to my taste or not to my liking, or just too dry. Or I felt like, what else is the ingredient that has been mixed into it, which may bring a reaction to my children? So this is what inspired me, that bake it yourself, make sure everything is correct. Nothing is being mixed. No other allergen products are being mixed. And yeah, it's a legit product in front of you. So they are my biggest inspiration to baking.
So it says your babies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is mentorship that sometimes your children do give you a career change. I mean, I never imagined this is going to become a career, but yeah, if you don't give up, you always pursue and try and keep trying in whatever you do. You never know where it takes you.
Yeah. We can tell, I can clearly see from the places you've been to on social media, it's clearly taking you farther than, what you might have imagined 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the transition, yeah, from the process of you being a chef, now you starting the journey of also being an author. How has that been like? Is this something that just happened like this, or it was also from an inspiration?
So definitely an inspiration, but it was a dream to also do something and make a difference. The main inspiration is, when you're a baker and then when your kids watch you becoming a baker, they want to also be in the kitchen. They also want to bake. And this is one of the things I realized is I could not let them be in the kitchen. This had become a profession now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't have you guys in the kitchen. Um, and Yeah, when they were in the kindergarten school that they were in was opening up a section whereby they believe kids can learn through cooking. It's a skill, and it just brings development and motivation. And they approached me as a baker, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Because your children have allergies, could you maybe come up with a few recipes, and then we can start a cooking class or a cooking session together." And that's how it started, actually. And I think balancing the two became a bit difficult. And I think I was never a teacher, huh? I, I think that requires an immense number of patience. But I think things got a bit tougher for me with managing the baking and the cooking. So I decided to take a back seat. But the response that I got from the parents was phenomenal. And that's where the brand name Chef Arva came about. All the children used to call me Chef Arva, Chef Arva. And some of the parents were like, you know what? These recipes are so wonderful. Like our children actually have shown interest. Most of the parents were parents of boys. So they were like, my son loves to cook. Could you just, do something more or make a cookbook? And that's how the whole idea got planted in by a few friends and parents. And yeah, I pursued it. And And yeah, it's out there now.
Yeah, you've done a tremendous job. So how do you come up with the recipes? The eggless recipes, the allergen-free, baked. Do you get inspiration from your daughters or YouTube?
Yeah, so again, I'll tell you, right, it is very hard to find. Um, we're in an era where kids are now growing up with allergies. A lot of parents have, oh, my son has a nut allergy, or my son has this allergy and that allergy. So there was a space that I saw has not been covered. And that's when I realized that let's make a cookbook which can cater for children with allergies. Let it be an eggless. And of course, let's add a healthy touch to it because as a mother, I would want my children to also learn and practice how to eat the healthy way. And yeah, that was the biggest inspiration behind it all. And yeah, my children, of course, played a part. But looking at what was out there as well, there was a need for it. And I just grabbed the opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So for people who grew up, like for me, I grew up in a very traditional setting, you know. For us, we were eating everything. We didn't care. Anything you find, you pass away with it. So what challenges do you face when you meet people who, um, let's say they taste a certain meal and they
Yeah.
find that is not what is their normal meal, you know? For instance, you can take someone from a rural community and bring them to an urban setup, right? And you prepare a meal. Since they're used to the rural meals, they're not used to the urban meals, they find it not appealing. So how do you, you know, sort those types of challenges where maybe you have a client who's from a rural setup and now he's living in an urban setup and he's not finding your recipes as appealing compared to the one that he used to consume before.
So these are one of the challenges I had as well.
Mhm.
First, while I was looking for food which were allergy free, because before I even thought of becoming a baker, I was like, let me look what's out there. And to my disappointment, whatever I tried was not appealing or was not edible or not to my taste. So this was designed to be, yeah, these recipes that I came up with the baking and the egg free and the gluten free were trial and error, years and years of trial and error, and to perfect it till the taste is good. What I do is I don't tell people. I mean, initially when Bake Me Some Buns started, we did not advertise the eggless bit of it. Again, because we knew the market was not going to be accepting. But this is what used to happen is when we used to go for functions or, Saturday, Sundays, you have these family events. And when I would bake and I would take, and when they would try, they would be like, oh, wow, this is really delicious. And I'll be like, okay, guess what? It's eggless and it's dairy free, it's gluten free. So sadly, seeing is not believing. When it comes to baking, tasting is believing. So I think the best way to go about it is to make somebody taste. And I have a couple of older ladies in, like you say, traditionally, who love it and who now want to venture into eggless products because of health. So sometimes it's just not a traditional way. It's also, it's like the way we are moving as a pattern. Everybody wants to eat healthy. Everybody wants to, watch whether it's vegan. Some even it's even a religion practice. I came to realize as a Muslim that the Hindu religion actually practice eggless, you know. So for some, it's even a religion, and yeah, it's phenomenal to be in this eggless space.
Mm. Wow, amazing, amazing. So let's speak about my little chef cookbook, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's unique actually in helping kids and actually to learn how to cook, right? Could you maybe share some of the favorite recipes that children love out of it?
So I think I love all the recipes because my daughters have actually prepared each and every recipe. So that's how the cookbook was designed. I came up with the recipes, but we made sure that my two daughters would actually prepare each and every recipe. Whatever they couldn't make, the recipe was out of the cookbook. So again, this was the whole idea of the chef cookbook is they are able to make this. They don't need mommy in the kitchen. Okay, you need to be there as guidance so that they just don't have any accidents. But the recipes were designed in such a way that they can do it themselves. One of my favorites, and I know a lot of children love, is the jacket potato. And recently we had Mother's Day and Father's Day, and a lot of children are making the mug cake recipe in the oven. So like I said, I can't choose. If my daughters were here, they would tell you completely something else. So there is a fun aspect to it, but there's a healthy touch to it as well.
All right. All right. So you don't want to mention one specific recipe that is the best for you?
I really love the yogurt lollipops because I feel like that is something I've never ever seen. And it's one of the recipes in the cookbook. It's so easy to prepare, very simple and very healthy.
Okay. Okay. So how do you balance between being a business owner, a cookbook author, and a mom? And also, how does your family support you in all these roles?
So yes, it's been quite a journey. When you say all those titles, it takes me back to memory lane. It's not easy. Of course, I need the support. Thanks to the support of my children who have always been so encouraging towards me being in the kitchen, who have always said such good things. Oh, Mama, you're such a good baker. You're such a good cook. Not to forget, in all my endeavors, I've got the support of my husband, my family, my parents, who have always just said, do what you want to do, live your dreams. And I guess when you have the support of everyone, and like I said, for me, the baking and the cookbook was more for my sanity. Having kids who were born with allergies, I did not want to be a sit-down home mom. I come from a very work setting. It was very hard for me to sit at home. It was driving me mad, let's just say that. So let's just say the support of the family that I wanted to do something while I was in the house. So the home baking was really supported by everyone. They were like, no, that's fantastic. You should do it. Money was never like, oh, how much money are you making? It was more like, okay, are you enjoying? Okay, people are giving you orders. Oh, wow, that's amazing. And even if you made one order in a week, it was a big thing at that time because it's more for mental health, right? It's like you're doing something else apart from just running the house and taking care of the family and cooking good food for them, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a journey, like I said. And yeah, I think
So yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a tough challenge, right? You're enjoying the process.
Yeah, and like I said, it was more not it's more for mental health reasons, whereby
Mm,
you're constantly doing something and keeping
mm,
up with yourself and creating. And sometimes it's also for yourself, like you feel so self-motivated, you feel so encouraged. The other thing I must say is you're also setting a great example to your children. Like
yeah.
the other day, I remember over the weekend, I asked my daughter, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they said, chef. I want to be a chef. And I'm like, that's amazing because if I was working in the office, they would have said the profession of, oh, I want to work in the office, or I want to be a manager, or I want to be a boss, right? So
Mm.
it's also nice to just see that the journey is not just about doing things, it's also about inspiring others as well.
All
So as
right.
much as like me, I think I'm inspiring them too.
Amazing. So let's talk about Nairobi's culinary scene. Yeah, how's the scene here in Nairobi, and even let's say just Kenya in general? Do you find a growing demand in the allergen-free and veg options?
Yeah, I do. I do. Let's talk about COVID. So I
Mhm.
started baking before COVID, and home baking was not such a common thing. But when COVID hit, every banker became a home baker. Every other person who couldn't go back to work was a home baker. Yeah. And I'm sure even the men were cooking. So someone even decided, hey, look, I'm a good cook. I'm going to become a chef. So the growing demand even started of people doing something else even apart from their profession. In today's era, I must say, and I think I've mentioned it in my previous conversations, that there is a demand for a lot of allergy-free foods, dairy-free, gluten-free. A lot of the generation of kids right now are having these issues. So the more the demand, right? So yeah, I mean, it's there, and like I said, for some it's religion, for some it's a personal preference, whereby it's a health condition, whereby the doctor tells you, okay, now you need to stop your dairy, or now you need to go vegan. So now it's more
Yeah.
of a health thing all of a sudden. So there, yeah, the market is opening up and accepting to all these things. It's
Mm.
fantastic, yeah.
All right. Okay. Amazing. So maybe now we can touch on social media and how has it been impactful to you to even create this brand awareness of alternatives or options that are out there for people to enjoy their diets? How has social media played a role in it, and how do you use your different strategies to ensure that this message is going out to people?
So I would just say without social media, I don't think I would have been able to do this.
Mm.
Because, like I said, I'm still a home baker. I operate from my little kitchen in my house in Westlands. And social media was the only platform whereby I could showcase my products and it would generate interest. And I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about Instagram. Um, of course, there's WhatsApp, but I think with Instagram being there, where the product photos are actually placed, uh, some of them like are my cooking videos, and when I'm actually preparing the item, I feel has really helped because when you see someone making something, you actually now believe that this person is okay. It's a clean environment, it's a clean place, it's someone who knows what they're doing. I could also talk about my story. So the more and more people know about me, know that Bake Me Some Buns has children who have allergies. So they have this trust factor whereby when they're ordering something for me, it's purely trust. So yeah, testimonials really helped. I have a couple of friends who are willing and customers who are willing to give testimonials about how legit it is when it's gluten free or when it's dairy free compared to when everyone's saying, oh, yeah, yeah, it's gluten free. And then, you're reacting the other day.
All right. Okay. So let's speak about Bake Me Some Buns and Chef Arva. Are there upcoming projects or new recipes that you're excited about?
Yeah, so for Bake Me Some Buns, yeah, the creativity never stops. I mean, we've just launched personalized chocolates. There's a product I just made 2 days ago. It was called chocolate lollipops. So, we're always in that game of demand and create, right? As for Chef Arva, there's a lot that's happening this month. On Saturday, I'm doing actually a kids book camp in Karen, whereby I'm actually going to be making a snack with the children. So that's very exciting because it's simple cooking, it's basic, it's going to really excite them that, oh wow, I can make something. So there's that happening. We're going to be doing more camps in September and October. And like everybody tells me, we want a version 2 now. So hopefully that will be in the near future.
Do you have to, because from the way I can listen, the way I'm listening to your conversation, um, it's like you're very good at this. And I can tell from the things you've been doing, you're very good at this. Do you need mentors to accelerate or grow your horizons?
Oh, that's a very tricky question. I don't know how to answer it. Shall I answer it religiously? I think we are.
Answer it in the most lightest way.
Opinion after all. So it starts with the Almighty. Thanks to God and His blessings. I feel with the support, with the prayers, you always have a guidance. You always find a way. Um, Yes, you do need mentors. Like I said, as a mother, it was so challenging to leave my job to be with children, who had allergies. It can be devastating. It can even be, I mean, someone can easily fall into depression. So, having just the positive people around you, positive friends, positive family who's always there to encourage you and say, hey, you know what, why don't you learn how to make certain things because they're not available? Or, your friends will keep giving you ideas on try this and try that. So I think life is full of interaction and mentorship. It depends on which aspect you want to look into it. But you can't do this alone. All I can say
Yeah,
is I always give credit to my journey. And I cannot say I did it on my own and I did not need anybody's help. No, absolutely not. Uh,
yeah.
with the Almighty's prayers and the love and support of family and friends. And of course, having being in the generation where I had a social media platform, which was there at my disposal, we have internet, we have so much information that's available at our hands. Everything is a mentorship, according to me.
Okay, amazing. I'm really enjoying this, and it's a conversation. I mean, I have people who've been cooking in my life, but I've never sat and really just asked them what happens in their mind when they're cooking. Where are they getting inspiration, even coming up with that food or recipe? So when I'm having this conversation, I'm like, now I will actually be asking these questions on a deeper level, just to understand how this magic of cooking happens. Anyway, my last question will be advice to upcoming bakers. What will you tell the aspiring home bakers, especially those who want to explore eggless and allergen-free baking?
Yeah. My advice to bakers is please, please don't jeopardize on the quality of your products. With good quality comes good taste. Absolutely. Tried and tested. I mean, I know it. The minute I cut corners with my ingredients, I know something is not tasting right. So I would always encourage all bakers use quality of ingredients. Don't always look at everything at a cost cutting down perspective. You know, um, if people are not willing to understand your costing, then I'm sorry to say, they will never appreciate your quality of your products. So I always believe it starts with quality. The second advice I would give almost to bakers and to everyone, including you, is be creative. It is so important. There is no right and there is no wrong when it comes to cooking. This is something I've been telling all the little chefs that I meet, that there is no right and there's no wrong. You know, if you want to make a teddy bear out of a bread, go for it. You know, if you want to make something out of a banana, do it. You know, and like you said, we are in this generation where we have the Gen Zs and we have the Gen Alphas, where they're very curious and they want to always explore. This is where, cooking is one of the basics where um, you can literally have fun and just explore and, just come up with your own ideas. And in fact, one of the things I always say, even I've noted it in my cookbook, try and come up with your own recipe. So always think out of the box. There is no this way or that way. We come from a very traditional perspective whereby if we're making chapati, it has to be this way. But the cookbook actually has got a creative touch to it, whereby not necessarily all ingredients have to be used in a certain way. You can always change and shift to what's available. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I love that. Maybe my last question. There are three of them. Where can people find you, or how can people access you, just in case they might need your service? Secondly, where can people get your book? And also, what are you going to cook after this? Yeah, those three.
I like a third question, but I'll answer it one step at a time. So you can find me on Instagram. I'm known as Bake Me Some Buns. And my cookbook page is at Chef Arva. We've kept it very simple. The cookbook is called My Little Chef Cookbook. You can, of course, purchase it from me directly, signed by the author. copies of the cookbook are available at Carrefour in collaboration with Books First Kenya. We also have copies of the cookbook available at the Artisanal Gallery in Gigiri. There is the Kids Library in Lavington. It's a beautiful library. We have so many other supporting libraries. There is Book Nation, which has just stocked our cookbook. And we're trying to work closely with all the book clubs so that the book is available to more and more people. But yeah, and your third question, I'm actually baking some cinnamon rolls right now in the oven while I'm talking to you. So if you're in the area, please come and have some. But you meant
Definitely.
it.
Next time,
Is that what you meant?
the next interview has to be somewhere there's some cooking happening. Has to be
The next
somewhere.
interview has to be a live interview where I can bring these goodies to you. Because even you can't even, at least you have to smell, look, try, taste. And that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I hope that answered your question, or did you mean what's cooking in the future?
No, you got it. You got it. You got
You
it
got
perfectly. You got it perfectly. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Chef Arva. I mean, this has been eye-opening. I mean, I've never thought it that way. I have a brother who really cooks really well, but today, from hearing from your point of view, it's really something very unique for someone to be doing, the cooking and even coming up with a book and also, just giving this service to other people. So God bless you more for that so that you can continue being great. And I'm so grateful that you've been able to pour yourself out for us. I know this is going to be powerful, even just to one person, that's what we aim to achieve here with YMBC. So thank you so much. Let me release you so that you can go and cook. And I'm looking forward to having next coming now to our physical studio. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. This was such a wonderful conversation, very easy flowing. Normally, I'm very nervous because you want to practice more with your hands and talk less when you're talking to someone. When you mentioned your brother, I just want to say the one of the biggest interests I've got from the cookbook is from boys and from mothers and fathers who actually have boys. And this is one thing that has really inspired me because I feel cooking is now a life skill. Cooking is needed by all. The traditional concept was cooking was just for the girls. But it's so nice to know that a lot of boys show a lot of interest in cooking and being creative. And today, one of the world's best chef is the male. So, it's a career option, and do encourage your brother to continue doing what he's doing. It's always great to deliver your passion.
Yeah, amazing. That's the best part to end it. Thank you so much. And can you make orders? It's online where you can make orders, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
you
right.
can, my numbers are available on Instagram, and even you can place your orders on Instagram and you can reach out to me. Yeah.
Okay. Look forward to that. I look forward to that. All right. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, Chef. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.